Ahoy, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the BBC Spews Live. It is the 30th of December 2023. The crazy year is almost over. Do you remember about a year ago, I made a video entitled 2023 is the year that kills cinema? And how prophetic was that? Because there has been some pure Shiite Muslim this year coming out. I can't believe how prophetic that video was. Anyway, who's in? Let's have a quick look. BRT 246, Michael G, Little She Bear, Ragnar's in now then, Top Notch Cup of Tea, the Hippocracker Pig, Ian McMahon, Resistant Geordie, Baron Flight is in, LXP, Ragnar, as always, Tic Tac, Alan Lloyd, South North, Matthew Howie, Jenny Shovel, Fuzzy, Tobias F, Christ, there's loads of your arsehole, Uncle Max, Zardoz, Old Mego, Karen Megson, Plague Marie's in now then, Bellissimo, Shy Ted, Carl Burton, Lenny Howell, Stevie Miles, Derek McManus, and that'll have to do you. There's too many to name check you all. A special shout out to those members of the channel and the sensible people that have been here for years. It's been a wild ride, hasn't it? I think I've been doing this for about 4 years now, haven't I? Maybe 3. Looks like I haven't been proven wrong many times in that lengthy period, have I? In fact, one would say I've been surprisingly wise looking at how things have turned out. I mean, let's be honest. Peter Hitchens deserves all the credit from the pandemic because I only nailed my tent down in his front garden. I was parroting all of his positions because I read all the arguments. This must have been, I mean, you guys probably know better than me now, one of the main reasons I started doing it, haven't you? Wasn't it? Must have been like, if it all kicked off massively in March, April, I must have been talking about it in February. Because Peter Hitchens was a fucking savant. He was right on the money. Everything he said 3.5 years ago or whenever, right at the beginning of it all, turned out to be 100% true. Everything. The bloke must have a crystal ball. He's like Russell Grant, except a bit more of a miserable bastard. Every word. The even down to the fact that I was talking about how it seemed to me that when you read the initial findings from what happened in China, nobody who was actually healthy was in much bother, and it just seemed like a similar fatality rate as like the flu or something. And then, do you remember I made a video about it when they wrote a story on the BBC and they put, otherwise healthy 26-year-old dies of COVID. So I went, fucking hell. I must be, maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to, you know me, I follow the evidence where it lies. Clicked on the story, otherwise healthy 26-year-old Welsh girl dies of the Rona. Clicked on the story. She had a fucking head like a wheelie bin. She was about 30 stone. Like, I'm not exaggerating. Otherwise healthy. More chins than the Chinese phone book. Puts a belt on with a boomerang. When she cuts her legs shaving, marshmallow foam comes out. And apparently it said, oh yeah, otherwise healthy. I was like, yeah, cheers. Isn't it a weird world? Isn't it a weird world to live in when being 30 stone gets you put on the front page of the paper? Otherwise healthy. That's like putting Stephen Hawking on there and saying otherwise marathon runner, otherwise Olympic athlete. No, he's not. He's a fucking clip. Hence the phrase about as much use as Stephen Hawking's bicycle clips, because he is a clip. It's a mad time to be alive. And then everything else I said about conspiracy theorists, isn't that a mad one? 10 years ago, you know me, I hold my hands up when I get things wrong. And I started texting one of my best pals. He's a Labour twat, but he's been mates with me for 35 years. One of my best pals back home, John Winterger, he's always been a conspiracy theorist. And I always used to laugh at him and say, don't be fucking daft. Because I was a normie. Because to me, a conspiracy theorist was Elvis is still alive, right? It was like Elvis is still alive, Loch Ness Monster, fucking warlocks and wizards, because they make you think that when you're a normie. so you don't know what you're talking about. But in the last few years, I've been texting him and saying, "Hey, mate, you were right on the money." Like, I have to hold my hands up and say, you were right. Because this is what I'm saying. And when you get idiots, normies on Twitter or Facebook having a pop at me, you've all seen them. And they're what I was 7 or 8 years ago. The see you disagreeing with the pure bollocks that the fucking mainstream media in Silicon Valley, and most importantly, the government, have been spreading. And the second you disagree with it, they go, "Oh yeah, conspiracy theorist," as if, and that's why they come up with that term. And we know all of this as well, don't we? The term was normalized by the state. The CIA, the FBI, the mainstream puppets in the United States got told to push it, use the phrase conspiracy theorist, so that when someone says something that the government doesn't want people to know, they go, "Conspiracy theorist," and then people do what I used to do and say, "Oh, Elvis is still alive, Loch Ness Monster, fucking Lord Lucan playing the organ in a bungalow in Sheffield," that type of shit. And it's not. It's just the government lies, and we all know this. This is the weird thing. None of it is even really, when you start thinking about it, none of it's even strange at all. Like the crux of if I was to distill it into 3 things that are surely irrefutably true, right, is 1, the government do lie to you. Everybody knows this. I'm sure even the woke would concede this, right? Because certainly the old left had no time for the slimy politicians and the lords. They must know that they lie, right? So surely that is irrefutable. All politicians lie. That's why everybody knows it. You learn this when you're 10 years old. Who's the 2 biggest liars in the world? Politicians and fucking lawyers. And best of all, in the world we've created, all the politicians are fucking lawyers. Like, so there you go. Like, back in the day, the House of Commons, people didn't want to be in there. That's why it was called the House of Commons. They were all like blacksmiths and fucking candlestick makers, butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers. Now, they are lawyers. It's like we realised that the biggest liars in the world were lawyers and politicians. So they all went, "Fucking hell, we could combine the roles. Brilliant. Save us a step or 2. And now they're all fucking lawyers. Google it. All of them. Barristers, lawyers, Keir Starmer, fucking barrister. All of them. Joe Biden, lawyer. They're all fucking rats. So 1, all politicians lie. And by extension, therefore the government lies. Okay, so there's irrefutable fact, number 1. 2, the government uses their own state power, the pillars of the state, what the Americans call the deep state. We'll just call it, I mean, it sounds a bit conspiratorial, so I don't like to use the term deep state. Let's just say the civil service. Let's just say that sounds better. So number 1, all politicians are fucking born liars. Number 2, the civil service is utilized by the lying, dirty, thieving, stinking, noncy, pedo, rat, fucking lower than a snake's bollocks, rat, weasel, verminous filth politicians. That should be the dictionary under the word politicians. It's a bit long. I'm working on a more short form terminology for the lying, dirty, thieving, steely, noncy, horrible, cunt politicians. They use the mechanisms of the state to spread lies, and I refuse to use the term misinformation. There's a fucking word I hate. Aren't you sick of hearing the word misinformation? Misinformation. It's like they all started using it, and more proof that it's all orchestrated. Everybody started using it 10 years ago. Just call them a lying twat. That bloke there is a lying twat. Now, using all the weasel words, the fucking woke lexicon, now it's misinformation. Oh, I didn't lie. I inadvertently disseminated some misinformation. No, you're a fucking rat. You are a rat. Sadiq Khan, you didn't inadvertently spread some misinformation. You didn't misspeak. They use that one, don't they? Oh, perhaps I misspoken. No, you are a fucking rat. If you and Jeffrey Dahmer were drowning in a pond, I would save the fucking cannibal. that is how bad our politicians are. If Fred West and Rishi Sunak were, were drowning in a lake and I only had one fucking life preserver, I'd throw it to the fucking bloke who lays patios. Fred West's crazy paving. As long as he agreed to do some crazy paving in my backyard, I'd throw the life preserver to Freddie. These people are fucking vermin, right? So number two, the dirty lying thieving nonsense politicians use the civil service to lean on private companies to control the narrative. So that's number two, right? And that is a fact. Matt Taibbi proved it. The Twitter files proved it. God bless Elon Musk for buying Twitter and proving it beyond all doubt. So there's number two. So both of these things I've just said to you are 100% verifiable fact. It's as verifiable a fact as the grass is green and the fucking sky is blue, right? There's two. Number three, the unholy amalgamation of those two then utilized all of their power, nefarious, dirty lying, pedo, noncy, rapey, power, corruption, to control the education system in order to indoctrinate the next generation of voters so that we have the illusion of a democracy. Those three things at this point are irrefutable. That's not just my opinion, that's what's happening. We know it, right? So the first one, everybody knows. All politicians are fucking liars. Dirty, lying, thieving, nonsense, pedo politicians. Second of all, the civil service is corrupt and controlled by the lying politicians. And third of all of those things combine to control the narrative, indoctrinate a generation via the schools and the mainstream media and Silicon Valley. All three of them, again, it's not even controversial, let alone deniable, to indoctrinate a generation. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, children now learn about felching. Right? That's why now when you go to school, they'll be like, right, what have we got on today? Check my homework diary. I've got double maths, DT, and then docking. Yeah. Sex acts, room 26, Mr. Foreskin. This is what they're teaching them. The videos are on Twitter for the whole world to see. I just made a video about it last week. Fucking Blue's Clues. That stuff's aimed at like 5-year-olds. In fact, I'm going to look it up. Blue's Clues. Who's it aimed at? It's not teenagers, in it. Blue's Clues were kids. Yeah, that's you can see what I've been googling for my video. Blue's Clues. That was because I wanted to make That's because I want to make a good thumbnail. You know, did you see the thumbnail for my video? There's like a little kid going, "Hi, Blue," and Blue's like, "Yeah, give it a gobble. Yeah. Any chance of a nosh, son?" That's the type of children's programming we make nowadays. Blue's Clues is an animated dog. Yeah, well, what's the fucking... who's the age group for Blue's Clues? You know, like in the old days, they used to have age groups and everything. So they don't do that anymore. I want to know who it's aimed at. Let me type in age on here. No, 15 languages. Oh, it says active media users by the age of 3. Look at that. Television appeared in homes beginning in the 20th century. Critics have expressed concern about its impact on viewers, especially children, who Kikorin argued are active media users by the age of 3. So like 3-year-olds then. So 3 and up is who the Blue's Clues at. And that is why you've got a fucking cartoon blue dog going, "Hey kids, suck balls," you know, fucking Elmo. Elmo's there giving his granddad a tug. He's like that. Hey kids, get yourself down to the local fucking gay district and snap one off on your granddad's head for the purposes of your own sexual gratification. It's fucking proper weird. And again, none of this is just me trying to be funny, like making it up. It's on Twitter. You go on there and you'll see it. Like you literally see the most fucked up stuff, like sexualizing children. I made a video about it last week. But if you go on Twitter, I bet if you just go on the search bar on Twitter, should we just try that? I'll tell you what. If you just go, I'll share my story. Instead of doing this story I was going to talk about, which is the BBC trying to promote drugging people so they don't have the wrong opinions, like the fucking Nazis, right? That's what that story is. Yeah, I'll touch on it. Basically, the BBC is trying to promote the idea that if you have the wrong opinions, the moral thing to do is to fucking beat you up, strap you to a chair, inject you full of drugs, and condition you to have the right opinions. And that would be a moral thing to do. Okay? Yeah? About as moral as showing Big Bird giving Oscar the Grouch a fucking rusty trombone at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, it's about as moral as that. So we don't need to talk about it, really, do we? Just, chain you up in a cellar in a fuck dungeon with a gimp and pump you full of MDMA, and then you'll get the right opinions, and it's very moral. And if you disagree in doing things like that, you're a bad person. You're a bad person. Of course you are. If you just go on Twitter, right, I bet you if I just type in, like, sexualizing children, you'll see loads of mad shit. Let's have a look. That's what Twitter's good for. Look, Albuquerque, sexualizing children and promoting debauchery. Yeah, there you go. The city of Albuquerque receives a 100 score for LGBTQ inclusivity. You know what you have to do to get a 100 score? To get a 100 score, you have to tell the kids that they're having assembly on Monday morning and they're going to be watching Sesame Street. But when you press play on the fucking DVD player, it's hardcore gay porn. And if any of the kids want to look away, you have to grab them by the head and prop their eyelids up with matchsticks in the name of tolerance and diversity. And if you don't do that, you're a fucking bad person. Right? It is. That's what I'm thinking of. Clockwork Orange. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Teach the kids about gobbling. And if you don't, you're fucking awful. What else is there? Let's have a look. A federal judge, a partial injunction on Iowa's new education law. What's that about? What's that about? I don't even want to know. It's a bit too early. It's only 11 o'clock here. It's a bit too early for me to see Ricky Martin giving Elton John a reach around. So I don't want to watch that. What else have we got? Another day, another gay couple purchasing children like designer pets and stealing them away from their mum. Let's not forget Shane Dawson has a long history of sexualizing children, delighting in the rape of an infant, normalizing paedophilia and coercing underage girls into performing lewd acts on camera. Look, and then they're just buying these kids. Like, you have to laugh. You have to laugh because the world's gone mad. You know, like in the 60s, you had to have like a license to have a dog because the locals would be like, do you know the McCodougall family? I'm just thinking of a family of Jippos in Glasgow or something. The McCodougall family want to keep a fucking terrier, and the government, they'd have to apply because the government would go, oh yeah, the McCodougall family. No, we don't think we should give them a dog license because they're horrible cunts. This is, you know, back in the day when we had reasonable, logical, sensible controls on everything. That's why we had dog licenses. It's so that if you were a family full of fucking shitbags, Tatty McShitbag from a sink estate in Glasgow, you weren't allowed to have a fucking dog because the local government didn't trust you with one because you were a family full of shitbags. They knew you'd either have, the dog wouldn't get fed, the dog would be savaging people down the local park. It'd have a name like fucking Ripper. Right, that's what the McShitbag family would call their vicious, abused, never gets fed, chained up in the back garden and beaten regularly pit bull called Ripper. And then it's savage kids. So they wouldn't let you have one. You'd have to apply. Now, if you've got a criminal record, as long as your fucking arm for doing mad shit like normalizing paedophilia and coercing underage girls into performing lewd acts in front of camera, They let you have 2 kids because in the world we've created, money talks, and it's total degeneracy. Like I keep telling you, in the future, you're not going to be allowed to eat steak, and you're not going to be allowed to go on holiday whenever you like. That's just going to be for rich people. But if you're rich, you can pay a poor person to have kids that you're going to induct into your harem when they grow up. And this is the real genius of the evil sociopaths that rule the world. They always do everything they do while simultaneously convincing you that you're free. And the clue is in that the more they tell you that you're free, the less free you are, right? They're making it so you're all impoverished. Just think of this, right? I'm going off on a tangent here, but stick with me because it's perfectly logical, right? Inflation, we knew that they'll talk like it's a conspiracy, but it's totally logical. Just join the dots. They knew that the response to the pandemic was going to make everybody fucking skint. Your money's worthless. Inflation's ridiculous. Everything is twice the price that it used to be. Young people can't afford anything. They're making it that way on purpose. Because if they make it so that you can't afford anything and you've got no money, when they start offering you money for slavery, you'll take it and you'll think you're free. It's no more complicated than that. And it all lines up. They want you to be poor. We knew 3.5 years ago when we were talking about this, saying you can't lock everybody up in their own houses. You can't lock down a country and decimate the economy. You can't sell it to us that you're doing this to try and help people when you know it's going to ruin the health and wealth of everybody involved. You know it's going to do that because locking people in their house is bad for their health. And locking the gyms and leaving Burger King open is bad for their health. And not letting people socialise and see the families and the children and the relatives is bad for their health. And worst of all, doing all of this is going to make everybody skint and depressed and fucking miserable. And it's bad for the health. So they did it all on purpose. Do you see? Then you don't have to be a genius. It's not like they all thought, what we'll do is we'll lock everybody up for fucking 2 years, and then at the end of it, they'll all be rich. It's going to be amazing. Nobody thought that. Peter Hitchens was saying it in fucking January before they'd even done a lockdown, when they were just talking about doing it. And he said, you can't do it because it's going to wipe out the economy. So they did it on purpose because they knew it was going to wipe out the economy. And then, and this is what I'm talking about, all the creepy shit like this, where poor people, do you honestly think of this, especially if you're a woman or a feminist, do you honestly think a woman wants to be a surrogate? Do you honestly think a woman wants to go through the fucking trauma and the gnaws and the chew on of carrying a baby for 9 months, lugging it around, back pain, cravings, hormones all over the place, and then go through the pain of having the child tear itself from the fucking body and then give it away? Do you think they want to do that? There is no fucking way on this earth that anybody wants to do that. They do it for money. So the reason they wrecked the economy was so that fucking freaks like this can just pay for stuff and everyone will go, free market, free, free, free. But they wrecked the economy on purpose, so you're not free. No woman wants to carry a baby for 9 months and then give it away. So this was on purpose. The housing crisis. In fact, there's so much for me to talk about, and I fucking keep going off on a tangent. I've seen the story on the BBC about how the housing crisis. Let me see if I can find that. And it links to what I'm telling you. Here we are, look. I'll put this one on. So we'll go from degenerate perverts to the day the Australian gene drive died, because it's all linked. So this is what I'm telling you, right? BBC is telling you this Oh, the dreams died. The dreams died. Just can't buy a house. Yeah. Did it on purpose. They knew what the fucking. They know why everyone's skinned. Because when you're skinned, you'll do anything for money, and they can sell you the illusion that you're free. They've ruined the economy on purpose. Everything they've done is to ruin the economy on purpose. What do you think importing 1 million people a year does to working class people? It drives wages down. Because fucking obvious. Because there's loads of competition for all the jobs. They invite 1 million people in every year and they don't build any fucking houses. Me and my missus are buying a house out here, right? So we're going to stay here. So we're starting to fucking look. We've got a 20% deposit, a shit load of money, basically. It was a fucking nightmare. It was a nightmare. We put a bid in on one. That's the closest we've got. It was a fucking nightmare because they've done it on purpose. Because here, this town we live in Santa Barbara County, they've been importing people for fucking decades and they haven't built any houses. There was a housing estate up the road from where we've just moved to, and it's been 25 years in the making because they're like, oh yeah, admin. It's not admin. It's on purpose. Red tape. They go, red tape. Well, you made the fucking red tape. They go, inflation. Well, you made the inflation. Economy. You fucked up the economy on purpose because you want everybody to be miserable. And why? Because in the future, just like with the surrogacy thing, they're going to introduce all these different rules and regulations related to money. So it's going to be, oh, you know what you can do? This is brilliant. We're going to say you're only allowed to eat beef like once a week. But this is amazing. It's brilliant. They'll sell you it. It's going to be brilliant. Owen Jones, oh, it's going to be brilliant. What you can do is you can sell your meat as a tax to rich people, and then they will give you £1,000 so you don't have to eat any beef that month. And if you are willing to do that, it's win for everyone. The rich people are basically paying more tax and you're getting money. Yeah. But you could have just had beef 7 days a fucking week, and you could have just had your own children instead of having to rent your bastard's womb out. But they're going to sell it to you after they decimate the economy and import 1 million people every year and don't build any houses. They're going to sell it all to you as being great. But they did it on purpose. Yes, banned again. Good name. Exactly right, isn't it? Is anything I've just said there illogical or irrational? That's how they're going to do it. The genius of the psychopaths that run the fucking world is that, just like Aldous Huxley said, see, Huxley had a big debate via letter with Orwell, and his disagreement with him was, they're not going to use the boot, the iron-shod boot, to impose the will on everybody. They're going to do it via the means of pleasure-seeking and hedonism and all this fucking stuff. It's a sort of combination of the two, isn't it? Like the do stomp on your face. Go and try and be in a White Lives Matter rally, and there'll be 50 coppers with riot shields ready to cave your shitbox in. So they do use the violence, but it's a combination of the two. They're using it to fucking... They're using force when they need to, but basically what they're doing is wrecking the economy so they can convince you that they're doing it to help you. So they'll gradually, like they're doing, banning cigarettes, making it, how expensive is a pint now? It's to try and convince you in the future that they're doing you a solid. Be like, this amazing new system, if you're willing to give up eating meat, you can get £10,000 a year in back taxes, or, selling your carbon tokens to John Kerry. And what happens is people like Obama and John Kerry drive £200,000 cars wherever they like, fly private jets wherever they want, live in $20 million mansions. They've got so much money that giving you 10 grand a year is a fucking pittance. But you're going to be daft enough to think they're doing you a solid. And you're like, oh, I'm getting 10 grand a year so I can finally afford this fucking 2-bedroom terraced shithole with an outside toilet, right, in Middlesbrough. I can finally afford a 2-bedroom semi in Middlesbrough thanks to the government giving me money when they've already fucked you. They didn't build any houses. They drove up inflation. They imported your replacements. They fucked up the economy. They made your savings worthless so they can fuck you. And you're going to go, oh man, these guys are looking out for me. I mean, do yourself a fucking favour and switch on. 460 for a car, you're having a fucking laugh, aren't you? Look how bad it's got. This is what I'm saying. Look how bad it's got. It's got to be on purpose. Inflation and shit. When I'm not that old. I mean, I know I'm a good looking cunt, so I don't look 44. But 44, that's all I am. 20 years ago, I used to go on the piss in Middlesbrough. You get a pint for like $1.99 nearly everywhere you went. It was cheap. You used to go to Wetherspoons 20 years ago. You could get a bottle of Newty Brown, a pint bottle of Newty Brown in Borough was 98 pence or 99 pence. It was under a quid. That's not just inflation. You can see they've done it on purpose in the last 20 fucking years. Think about it. Like when your old fella was working, I don't know, the average wage will have been like 100 quid a week. But a pint will have been 40 pence. Or me, when my first job left school, working steel erected, fuck off. That can't be. This is what I'm talking about. And me, 20 years ago, I left school. First job I got when I was 16, working in steel erection in Borough, like everyone does, before I joined the corps. I was getting like 168 quid a week or something. Like, and it wasn't good money at the time. It was average money. 168 quid a week. But it was £1 a pint everywhere you went. Do you know what I mean? Now, the kids will be earning like 300 quid a week, but it's 7 quid a pint. So you don't have to be a rocket scientist, do you? If you go out and have 10 pints, it costs you 70 quid. If I used to go out and have 10 pints, it used to cost me fucking £9.50. And to think this is all just, it's just the way, there's always been inflation. There has been, but it's not like now, where they've fucked you on purpose. Everything they do is to fuck you. Think of that. I like to think I've given you enough examples there. But you see what I'm saying? It's all on purpose. The pandemic response, the immigration debacle, it's all on purpose. The immigration one, fuck me. The general public in Europe has been anti-immigration for at least 15 years. At least, maybe 20. Blair won, imported them aggressively, and then by about 2003, everybody was like, seems like you're taking the piss a bit here, Tony, you horrible cunt. For 15 years, people have been anti-immigration. And what have we got in the last 15 years? More than ever. So you're not free. They run on a platform telling you what you want to hear, and when they get in, they get the exact fucking opposite. You know this. Merkel didn't run on an open borders platform because the Germans were getting pissed off with immigration back in about 2005. They were like, haven't we let enough in? So they were like, oh, yeah, we sensible immigration. But have 2 million, you cunts. Suck on that. Everything they tell you, they do the exact opposite. So don't fucking tell me that it's not on purpose. I'm sorry. 27 quid. Fish and chips in Borough was like £3 20 years ago. 27 fucking quid. I'd only pay 27 quid if I got fish and chips twice and a wank off the woman behind the counter. I'd be like, how much, love? 27 quid? Zip, slap it up, pull that off, and then fish and chips twice. Because that's fucking daylight. You know what I'm saying? It's all on purpose. And if you don't think so, you haven't got eyeballs. Fuck me. I can't believe it. Anyway, this story, I might as well read it. I haven't done any story. I've just ranted for 36 minutes. At the age of 31, Justin Dowswell never imagined he'd be living in a shared room in his childhood home. Poor cunt. He had a full-time job in Sydney, rented for a decade, and then the unprecedented housing crisis on purpose forced him to upend his life. It's humbling, but I'm one of the lucky ones. Oh, yeah, there you go. This is what I'm talking about. See that? They've fucked him. They fucked him on purpose. And he's going, I'm one of the lucky ones. You're not. You're not. You've been stitched up. You've been stitched up. They've imported fucking millions of Chinese blokes. Have you walked around Sydney? Sydney's fucking mental. It's like being at the Chinese New Year party. You don't see folks who look like me in fucking Sydney. And some lefty daft cunt will sit there in the chat with a straight face who's never been and go, look at these right-wing snowflakes. And that's another one, hilarious. They've tried to reappropriate the term snowflakes. At no point has anybody on the right ever said, oh, I'm upset by the words. No, we say, shout the words at me, because I fucking love arguing with you thick, shit for brains, sparrow-born soy boys. Please call me a cunt. Please. And I will respond in kind. And then they go, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. Trigger warning. Safe space. Yeah. And then they'll go, oh, yeah, these right-wing snowflakes. They're on Twitter calling people like me snowflakes. It's cringe. They demanded safe spaces. They said you have to put trigger warnings in the front of books. And then when we fucking disagree with them, they go, ooh, you're a snowflake. They don't even believe it. They're saying it because they're trying to wind you up. They don't even believe it themselves. They know what the crack is. They know that the trigger warnings and the safe spaces, fuck me, that type of shit. I was amazed when I first seen all that stuff about 10 years ago. They were like, oh, yeah, in universities in America now, they're saying that if someone says something that they might disagree with, they have to put a disclaimer in at the front of the textbook and then set up a safe space room with like puppies and colouring books in. No fucking shit. And the people who instigated all that, when I say I disagree with you, they go, ooh, snowflake. And I'm like, really? You fucking 8-stone Mr. Glass-looking cunt. If I shoved you gently off the curb, you'd get about 14 stress fractures in your fucking shin bones, you skinny dying rat. And you're telling me I'm scared of you? Ooh, snowflake. I would fucking fold you up like a deck chair in about 3 seconds, you fucking pasty Guardian reading daft cunt. And they go, snowflake. They don't believe it themselves, is my point. And this is what I'm on about. These guys, look, oh, I'm one of the lucky ones. No, you're not. No, bed. You're not. You've been fucked. Just accept it. Just accept it. And yeah, oh shit, I have to go in 5 minutes. I'm taking my missus. I got her a massage for her birthday. I don't know if they do happy endings in California, but I've said, hey, it's your birthday. Knock yourself up. Knock yourself up. Out. Knock yourself out. Do not get piped by the masseuse. But, you know, we're all perverts in California, so who cares? If the masseuse wants to give her a fucking good scene, that's his remit. He's allowed to. I've moved to California. I might as well embrace the culture, yeah? And that is sodomy, debauchery. She can get rogered by the masseuse while I sniff cocaine off a bent copper's dick outside. So might as well embrace it. This is where that's normal in California. She can get fucking piped by the masseuse while I go and have a wank outside the local elementary school whilst watching a video of fucking Blue's Clues, but watching a video of Elmo sucking Big Bird's balls. This is what we do in California. Anyway, yeah, so I have to go because I told her I'd take her out. And it's already booked, so fuck you guys. Anyway, that was 40 minutes of ranting. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I will pass them on. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Have a fucking fantastic new year. I'm not intending to come on tomorrow because I'm going to go and enjoy myself. Have a good new year. Matt and Lisa have been members for 2 months, so they get a special call out. Hey, Royal, hope you had a good Christmas. Got your letter the other day, so thanks for that. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you got that. Join the members club and I might send you some shit art. Look, Matt and Lisa were happy with it. So, yeah, everyone have a fantastic 2024's Eve. I'll hopefully see you all next year for more of the same shite. And have a good night. Get pissed, drink 12 pints, and mercifully forget the clusterfuck that is the world we live in. As I said, at least it's going to be funny. If nothing else, 2025 might be poverty-stricken, eat the bugs, not allowed to go on holiday. John Kerry's got a private jet. You're not allowed to caravan in fucking Slough. All that's coming, but at least it's going to be funny. All right? So I will see you all in 2024. Have a marvelous New Year's Eve and see you in about 2 days, I'm sure. All right? Take it easy. See you later. Cheers.